Ahoy there, it's the Metal. How y'all doing? Going for a walk, ready to talk. So I got a package today. Finally came in from a Mr. Rick Piper, all the way up in Hamilton, Ontario of Grand Ole, Canada. And I got my Canadian Shield stuff. For anybody watching who may not know who the Canadian Shield is, he is I guess the flagship character, so when he's starting with, of Cross Comics, which is a Christian-based comic. I don't know if you call it a company yet, but yeah, I would say a comic company. He does have a product out, right? I just probably not registered as a limited liability corporation or whatever, if Canada has different words for stuff, the equivalent. But yeah, a Christian comic book company. Makes very wholesome books. If anybody's interested in stuff like that, I probably have quite a few friends that might be. And it came in along with the less wholesome but equally interesting Ashcan for the Buckler by John Dillard, who the Canadian Shield shows up in. Been waiting for it for a while, but you know, anybody who lives in the Dallas area knows that there's basically one avenue mail comes in, and it's the Fort Worth Distribution Center. And it's horrible. So while other people who are even further away have gotten theirs like half a week ago or whatever, mine just came in today because processing is shit. But it's nice. I think I got more from the package than I expected. I don't know. I wasn't aware that I was getting some of the things that I got. I was aware that I won some art, random raffle, because anybody who backed in a certain period of time, which just happened to be when my funds came through for entertainment, was able to win some art from the Buckler Ashcan that Mr. Dillard all chopped up nicely so people could get different panels. So that was cool. I had to go put that in a safe place. I don't have anywhere to present it at the moment, but I don't want it to get ruined, so it's somewhere safe. That was a nice little wake up because I got up really late. So by the time I was out moving, well, as normal, the mail was already put right in my workstation. Big old package. And actually, so I know a lot of people are really picky when it comes to mailing comics. They're Gemini mailers and stuff, but honestly, I'm not. And the way Rick did it was perfectly fine for me. He got two, I think they were foam, I don't know, but two boards within a normal, like, I guess one of those insulated, maybe bubble wrap mailers. And everything was between these two really stiff boards that I could have easily broken if I put effort into it, but I don't see randomly bending or snapping in the mail. Like, you'd actually have to put effort into it. So it seemed fine. I mean, the same amount of effort that it would have taken for me to bend a Gemini mailer. So I don't know why people have to get all up on their high horse. Like, this is exactly how things need to be mailed out. No, as long as it works, dude. As long as it works. But yeah, that was a good start to the day. It's actually, this week's finally been rolling through, other than the fact that didn't do the podcast yesterday. Apparently, the new co-host forgot it was Wednesday. I probably should have DM'd him, but I don't know. I guess I'm just in the habit of Chris coming in at the very last second or just not, and I'm like, well, I'm canceling the show for today. Like, it's a really bad habit, but that's the way things have been running up to this point, so it's hard to get my head out of running it any other way. But other than that, it's been rolling fine. Still been having kind of a block working on comics. I think I should be able to get something done today. One of the problems is I've got too many things to work on, and I think I'm getting like a cluster, right? So it's hard to figure out. I need to primarily focus on the prizes for the contest. I have Al's like penciled up. I just need to ink it, scan it, color it, so that should be done soon for the commission, not the comic. I had Evans penciled at one point, but I think I lost it. That was back around the time that I started working on the manga, so I'm probably just gonna have to repencil it. It honestly wasn't that hard, except for the head of the unicorn. Horses really aren't hard to draw. It's just weird if you're not used to drawing horses, because I'm like, okay, what shapes am I breaking this head down into? Luckily, I was able to find a decent picture of Epona, because it helps if you already have an illustrated version of a horse, and I use that as a reference for what the head is kind of supposed to look like. I just added like a horn right there, but I'm probably gonna have to redraw that. Just kind of sucks because it was only black and white. If I was right, if I bothered to ink it, I would have just had it scanned and done. I think when it comes to the other contest entries, John Dillard, as I just mentioned earlier, owes me a commission, and I owe him a commission. So I think we came to an understanding that we're just going to cancel that out. And that's fair, honestly. So, and then the only other one is Rick after that, who we already have that scripted up. I could probably actually just do the layouts of those pages, but I don't know. I don't like doing layouts and stuff too early, because there's a good chance I might lose them if I haven't actually worked on them already. So I'll probably wait to do that. But the entire thing is scripted up for that. I think that's the priority, because it's stuff I owe. And it is still content for the site, because I'll get all the commissions out to people when they're done, like immediately. But as soon as all the stuff is done together, they'll go up into a gallery for the site. So it's still content. I need to do it. I've had some people yelling at me to get the next page of the webcomic up, which I have like half penciled. It's just been sitting there. Like that's how much of a slump or a funk I've been in since finishing that manga. It's like it's just been sitting there in front of me at my workstation, staring at me in the eye. It's just like, man, I don't know why I can't do this at the moment. I think it's also because I haven't worked on it in so long. The last page for it came out in like March, maybe. So it's trying to get like back in the feeling of that comic. That's why you shouldn't go too long without doing things, right? Or at least I probably should have. I should have been done with this chapter a long time ago, probably last year, to be honest. But I definitely would not have had time to finish this chapter, because there's like 5 pages left, and then start working on the Tezuka contest. That's for sure, because I barely finished in time. There's plenty of time to do it. I actually could have added more pages if life wasn't getting in the way and I had to like run halfway across the country to help pick up my mom, go with her to the hospital a few times and stuff. Like life just kept getting in the way. But speaking of content, I put up a chapter of one of my favorite stories that I've written for a really long time, chronicling of a planet called Mira. Which anybody who knows me for a long time knows that I've been working on this story since like middle school. Actually, maybe even earlier than that, but it really took the form that it has now in middle school. And I've been chipping away at it since then. But like the last full novelized version of it, which I did 2012 maybe, it only followed Nana-san Riknia, the kind of the main protagonist. right? But it felt empty, like there's things missing, because it's really not just his story. It's the story of him and his 3 biological siblings. And there's some things that just didn't make sense missing it. And there certain characters I think people had the wrong opinion of too, right? Like Decius and Anna specifically came off as assholes. People have told me that. And they're not supposed to. Mac is actually, Mikkel is supposed to come off as a asshole. That's kind of like the intention of the character. But the other 2 aren't. Especially Anna is supposed to come off as like a broken person. She has the most development out of anybody in the story. So this chapter focused on her. I'm switching their perspectives, and it really lets you understand why she is the way she is. It doesn't excuse it. It's an understanding point, and it really sets up like her goal, I guess, right, in life. And it sets up what her challenges are going to be as well for her development. So I think it's a very important chapter, which is good that it's the second one in the story. It also introduces you to Decius a lot earlier. Because in the original version of the story, you meet Anna in the first chapter. Same thing happened. Basically, the first chapter was exactly the same. I rewrote it to sound better, right? Like to be technically a better version of it. And it's only half of it. After this chapter, I'm going back to the second half. And that's what the third chapter is going to be. So that chapter is too long. I think it was originally 11,000 words. And if I was rewriting it, it was probably going to be even longer. So I found a good break point at around 6,000, which is going to be halfway, and then I'll probably add another 6,000 words. Anna's chapter is about just under 4,000. It's a good stopping point. But yeah, it introduces you to Decius. You actually meet their mother, which you never did at all in the original version of the book. And she's kind of an important character, but she's only important to like half the family. She's not really important to Na's journey at all, so you never meet her. It introduces the character of their cousin Anan conceptually. You don't actually meet him, but he's talked about in that chapter much earlier too. So characters that don't even really show up until like chapter 4, chapter 10, stuff like that are introduced like right away. The world starts falling into place as of chapter 2. I think this is just much better for the story overall, from a writing perspective. And you could go and read that on the site right now. I shouldn't be working on stuff like that, but I think I was looking for stuff I could quickly finish because I was missing content. I needed to put content on the site. I haven't uploaded in a bit. And I noticed that I was like a couple paragraphs shy from that being finished. So I finished that up that night, did a quick proofreading, made sure everything was in order, and then popped it up. So you can go read that now. I didn't even wait until I had like I did with the first one, I put 2 scale cast pictures at the bottom of the page. I didn't even do that for this chapter because I'm missing Decius. It's the only one. There's only like 3 characters in this one, but I'm missing Decius. That I had it penciled. I could probably finish inking that real quick while I'm penciling something else because I do the character art digitally. But his page is up. It just doesn't have any pictures for it. So you can, people who go to my site, you can realize there's actually pages up for everything, right? I'm adding more than just characters, but like every character that's important, there's like a page up on there that each has like, I don't know, 500 to 900 words of information you could just read. It's like a short little 4 to 5 paragraph essay about each character. Really get you to their mind. And then if there's like a codex page, that was in the digital deluxe version of the comics, they're up there too. Like, you scroll down and the actual image is there. You can click on it, it'll bring you to a full render one. I've worked on this site quite a bit. I'm not quite sure I'm proud of it yet, but I'm getting there. And I'd probably be more proud if more people went and checked it out. It gets a decent number of views when I upload something. Share it around. I actually got quite a few followers in the last few days. That surprised me. Because I'll get a lot of views. I don't get a lot of comments. But never any followers, right? Which I think are important, because when you go and follow a site like that, it basically makes you like a newsletter. You're an email subscriber. Anything that gets posted that is a post, not a page. So you wouldn't get notified if I put up a new character bio or something. But if I put like a new page of the webcomic, a chapter or something like that, anything like that, you would get notified. And it goes straight to your email. Or to your WordPress reader if you like to read that way. And I'm excited anytime I see that, and it's usually like once in a blue moon I'll get a new follower, but in the last few days I've been getting quite a few. And it's actually, because I put it up a few days ago, probably because of the chapter for Anna. Because the one thing I'm probably good at is writing. Sometimes what I write comes off as stiff, but that's intentional. Especially if I'm writing, right now I'm doing perspective stories, right? So I'm writing from the perspective of the character. I have to write it as if this character would say the things or think the things that's going onto the paper in nearly real time as best as I can, because it's active perspective. And people seem to like it, or even the horror one that I started that I'll have to add more to soon enough, the Tall Man and His Door from Beyond the Terror Threshold. The first one is the name of the chapter, the second is the name of the story, Beyond the Terror Threshold. And I got really good compliments on that too. I probably need to put more written stuff up there. People seem to really, really like the written stuff. Especially the written stuff that's written in a traditional format. Ex Dynamis Chaos is a novelized form. It's kind of out there. It's a very weird way of writing things. I know. It's like a college reading level too, like for comprehension. And you're like, why would you choose to write it that way? I really didn't choose to write it that way. That's kind of how the story called to be written. But the other stuff is written more toward like maybe a middle schooler or a high schooler could enjoy it. So that's probably why people like it more. But all of it's up there. You can read it. That's my strength. I should be writing more, but I just really like the comics. And I think with that, I'm probably going to wrap up. Yeah. I don't really have anything to talk about. I'm just rambling at this point. But that's the name of the series. Speaking of, and I've probably said this before, if you're like an artist and you want to collaborate on something, let me know. I've got plenty of stories to start working on. We can have some fun. We can just do a short, nothing heavy like time investment, anywhere between 1 to 10 pages. Or even if you're a writer, like I need more people actively on my site. The only thing with writers, like if you want to have like your own like a pulp series running or something, you can. Just know that editorial is me. For the most part, I'd kind of just let you do what you want, but I have to cut away at it to make sure it works in the world. The whole point of this is that everything functions in the world. And when I'm the only one working on it, it's easy because my brain just kind of naturally juggles this world on its own, like it exists in my head. That would become a lot more difficult as soon as I start working with other people. But no, I want to work with other people. It would be fun. I need more content on the site. Basically just be hosting your story for free because I'm the one who pays to run the site. I have no problem with that. But I need to get more up. That's what I really need to do. Okay, I'm making no sense anymore. I'll see you guys later. Bye.